Hi, Gemma. How are you?
I'm good, thank
Eh,
you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for helping now today. We're scheduled this session to run approximately for 60 minutes, but we're going to split it in two. Uh, Before we start, I'll explain a little bit about the setup and how this session works. I'm responsible for conducting some customer research for a hotel booking website. We're trying to identify issues that could be fixed to make the website easier to use or the apps that we're going to try. To do that, we're talking to people like you, and based on your feedback, we're hoping to pinpoint areas for improvement. So let me explain a little bit about the setup. I'll be asking you questions and talking you through the tests. We have a camera and a microphone to record what you do. We will record this session for note-taking purposes, but the footage will not be seen by anybody else out of the team. The session will be divided into parts, like I said. The first one is some general questions about yourself and your experience with booking hotel accommodation. And then I ask you to perform a few tasks on two hotel booking apps and ask you some questions as you go. I'm going to turn my
Mhm.
camera off right now so we can only see you. Hold on one minute. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. First, this session is called usability tests, but it's important to know that we're not testing you. We're testing the apps that we're going to try. They're not right or wrong answers. They're not tricky questions, so we're not trying to catch you in any way. If you do come across with problems, please understand that it's not your fault, it's the software's fault. And in fact, the more problems you find, the better we can fix them.
Mhm.
Second, we ask you to be very, very candid as possible. If you don't like something or think it's just plain silly, please say so. You won't hurt my feelings. I wasn't involved in any designs of this. And third, as you navigate around the website, whatever is going through your head, please verbalize it. For example, if
Mm.
you are going to click a button, just say, I'm going to click this button and it's going to take me to the following uh,
Okay.
page, for example. Basically, we want you to think aloud, and it helps us better to do this and going slowly through the app as you normally would do it, so
Okay.
we can take all notes for this. So I
Mhm.
remind you to think aloud and to slow down throughout the session as well.
Okay.
Finally, please feel free to ask any question you like. It's a great way for us to understand your thoughts. And but in order to keep the test as realistic as possible, I may not always answer your questions. I hope that you understand.
That makes sense.
Thank you for okay. Thank you for understanding. Do you have any questions before we begin?
No.
No. Okay. So first, open the app. No. First we're gonna start with the background questions. Before we start using any of these apps, I'd just like to ask you about simple backgrounds related with your persona. So, what's your occupation?
Service delivery manager. IT
Where do you
service
live?
delivery manager.
Excellent. What do you live? Where do you live?
In Derbyshire, in Hadfield, in Derbyshire.
Excellent. How do you access to internet? For example, home, work, uh, phone.
Both. For home and for work. On a tablet and a phone and a laptop.
Excellent.
Mhm.
Do you own a laptop or a desktop?
Laptop.
Do you have broadband?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you use websites or apps on your laptop or smartphone?
Yes.
What sorts of apps or websites do you use?
Social media. Shopping.
Hmm.
Um, just browsing the internet, kind of news websites, booking things, cinema tickets, holidays, tickets for days out, that side of the sort of things.
Excellent.
Use it to look things up. So to get
Excellent.
information, opening times for places or all that side of things.
Yeah, perfect. And regarding to the hotel booking website or apps usage, why
Mm-hmm.
have you typically booked hotels in the past?
Um, why have I booked them via a website, you mean?
Yeah, like for business, for leisure.
Oh, I see. Sorry. Yeah. Both predominantly for personal use, not for business use.
Uh-huh. And what countries have you booked hotels in the past?
Mainly in the UK, but more recently in Belgium.
Belgium. Okay. And how do you book hotel accommodation? Online, in a traveling agency, or as well?
Online.
Mhm.
Yeah, online.
Which hotel booking websites or apps have you used in the past?
Most recently, I used Booking.com.
Uh-huh.
Um, so that's yeah, probably the one that I used most recently.
Is that your preference and or any other preferences?
No, that probably is my preference, to be fair. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Describe the last time you booked a hotel accommodation. What was the scenario? Where were you traveling to? When did you decide to book a hotel accommodation? Explain a little bit of
So
that.
it was for a week's holiday in Belgium. So we were looking for three different holidays for different intervals during that time. So obviously different parts of the country, wanted to know things like accessibility for train stations and for things to see and do in the area, places to go for meals, tourist attractions, and obviously wanted to understand about pricing and facilities in hotels. So yeah, we used it for all of that
Excellent.
and to get
Very,
reviews as well, to read
very
the
good.
you read reviews from other people.
Very good insight. Very good. What was the most important criteria when booking a hotel? For example, location, price, anything else?
Um, I think I think reviews were important in terms of just seeing if other people had commented on things like, oh, it's in the middle of nowhere, or there's no good restaurants nearby, and that side of
Hmm.
things.
Yeah.
And accessible, we were traveling by train, so definitely accessibility by public transport was important.
Hmm.
We also needed to kind of, because we weren't familiar with the area, we needed to understand about kind of what other things were in that area as well, so that we could just sort of see what else there was to see and do.
Yeah, I
So
see.
yeah, so yeah,
Excellent. And do you compare different hotel options before
yes,
booking?
yeah, we did.
What did you
Uh,
compare?
Price, facilities, how nice they looked. So, obviously looking at things like photographs, looking at comparing reviews that had been done. Um, I guess those were the main things really. Just how,
Hmm.
whether they looked nice, whether they seemed to be in the right area, whether how the price compared. Obviously, because you're looking at the price across the piece, so price for your travel and for your hotel.
Yeah, excellent. Excellent. And which website or app did you use for that one?
We used a combination of the Eurostar website, Booking.com, and individual websites for actual hotels.
Hmm.
So sometimes you can get more information from a hotel website than you could from, say, Booking.com, for example. So we kind of explored a bit of everything.
Yeah,
And
excellent.
we also found some blogs online that detailed holidays other people had taken. So we looked at those.
Excellent. Great insight. And do you have any particular worries or concern when booking a hotel accommodation this holiday?
I think it depends. If you're traveling on your own, then you want to know you feel safe. I wasn't necessarily thinking about that quite so much, but I think it kind of depends a little bit what you're, who you're traveling with and what you're doing and so on.
Yeah, good. And overall, how do you find the experience of booking that hotel?
That was good. Yeah, it was good. Very good.
Um, is there anything you would do differently the next time you book?
I would check the reviews more thoroughly. I think I realised that sometimes some of the negative reviews are hidden a bit more. So I would. There was nothing wrong with any of our hotels, but one of them was in an area that actually wasn't very accessible. And when I looked at the reviews afterwards, I realised they did say that, but it was buried quite deep. So
Uh-huh.
I had to go looking a bit more thoroughly. So I probably lesson learned.
Okay, that's perfect. Excellent. Okay, now we're gonna go through the tasks. So I'm gonna ask you to open the Marriott Boy app first.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Excellent.
I've opened the
And
app.
we are, for the purposes of this test, we're assuming the following. This is your first task. You live in England, as you are. You're
Mm-hmm.
planning a holiday break next April. You're
Mm-hmm.
traveling to New York with a friend for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You have already booked the flights to New
Mm-hmm.
York on April the 12th and returning on April the 26th.
Okay.
You would like the hotel to be located in the heart of the city or nearby the Central Park or Manhattan, any of these areas. And possibly you would prefer to be able to have a free cancellation.
Okay.
Okay. The first thing you will have to do is visit the app and try to book a hotel room in New York with breakfast included.
Okay.
And of course, you're going with a friend. Please show me how would you do this?
So I've clicked on the book icon and it's asking me about which location I want to book for. So I'm going to type in, I've typed in New York,
Mhm.
and I'm picking New York. Now it's asking me about dates. So just going to scroll through the calendar and put in from the 12th of April to the 26th of April. Oh, that's wait a minute, didn't get that quite right. Cancel. Let me do that again because I didn't do that right somehow with the dates. So my dates from. Oh, it's assuming that I'm going from today, which I'm not. Quite know why I keep doing that. New York. It seems to be defaulting for today
Mhm.
dates. Not quite sure why. Check out 26th of April. There we go, that's better. One room. Sure. Are my guest and I staying in two rooms or one room, or does it not matter?
Both are in the same room.
Okay. One
Yeah.
room, two guests. Okay. Find hotels. So it's just searching now. Just waiting for it to bring up some options. Whoa, loads of options. So I would probably look at filtering it. Typically that's what I would do is I would be like, depending on whether I wanted to be near somewhere or like this one says it does an airport shuttle. So that I'd probably think that was quite a handy one. I mean, it says it's got a spa, so maybe that would be nice. Restaurant on site. No, wouldn't be worried about parking. Internet be good. So those are the. Oh, doesn't seem so. Typically, doesn't have any of. Doesn't haven't quite found. So,
Okay. 1 second. Just to keep it simple, only try to book the room for with the following aspects.
okay.
That you go with the person, you want the breakfast included,
Hmm.
and mainly located in the city or in the Center Park, nearby the Center Park or the Manhattan area. Keep it
Okay,
simple
I've
for
done
this
that one.
task. Yeah.
So there's some suites available. These ones, so that's like Manhattan, Fifth Avenue, Times Square. Um, so I guess, do you kind of want to know how if I was booking this, what my thought process would be? Um, so at this point, I'd probably be looking at a combination of cost and depending on what my budget was, and um, what sort of maybe what star rating it had been given.
Uh-huh.
Um, to sort of see if there was anything that you because there's it's brought up a lot of choices and you want something to help you narrow it down.
How will
So
you pick the hotel according to the location? Uh, how will you pick?
um well, if there was somewhere specific that I needed to be, I would use this map.
Mm-hmm,
Um so there's Central Park there. So like for example, there are two that are seen there are very near to Central Park.
mm-hmm,
So I might use that if I was trying to pick it something like that and say, okay, show me that one, and then have a look at then actually look at the hotel in detail.
uh-huh,
So see what it says about the hotel, read the blurb. Um, so kitchen, dining area, Wi-Fi. Oh, it looks like it's suites. Um, breakfast included. Talks about what's nearby. Rockefeller Center, Central Park, Carnegie Hall, and then some pictures. So typically, I would look at pictures of the hotel, so you can
mm-hmm.
kind of get an idea of what your accommodation is going to be like, that sort of thing,
Right.
whether it sort of appeals to you. Um, that's usually the sort of thing that I would do to sort of narrow it down and look at. I suppose they probably know whether they've got reviews, but I would also look. It's got about amenities on there, so look at maybe those. Um, those would probably be the things that I would be thinking about. Yeah, this
Yeah.
oh, there's a bit where it shows some reviews. So, oh, I didn't find those, but yeah, that's how I would look at it.
So how will you proceed if you want to check uh, if you like what you see? Do you actually like this hotel?
No. So I would pick. Let's have a look at the other one. I would probably compare it because there were two.
Uh-huh.
So I would compare it with the other one
Mm-hmm,
and just see how they compared, whether there was one that stood out more when I was looking at it.
mm-hmm.
Um,
What feature do you use to compare the hotels? What's the most important
um,
thing?
pictures, how it
Mm-hmm.
looks,
Uh-huh.
facility, how nice the rooms are, how facilities in the rooms, facilities at the hotel, the cost. So if the facilities in the hotel look the same, but one seems a bit cheaper than the other, then maybe that might be one that you would go for. Or if they
Uh-huh.
seem the same, but one's got better reviews than the other, or something like that. So
Uh-huh.
that would be typically what I would use. So I prefer this one to the other one. So I would say I would prefer this one.
Okay. What do you see in
So
this? Describe a
it
bit.
looks so it hasn't got quite as many pictures as the other one, but it's got a gym and there's sort of like shopping facilities. It's very central. It says about that there is somewhere I've just seen here about meals. You can get meals there, and it's centrally located, so you can get meals from other places nearby. And obviously, it's got a list of those as well, which is helpful. It's got a spa
Mm-hmm.
nearby, which is very nice. Um, Attractions, I'll probably look at that as well. That's about what's nearby. Um, Whoops. Oh, let's go back into that bit. So yeah, that I think I would say that one of the two. Just,
Okay.
and I guess that one's just personal preference.
Okay. And show me how will you choose this hotel? How will you proceed to do the booking?
So I I would want to see what kind of rooms they've got available. So they've said they've got three types of rooms available. Obviously there'll be different price points. So it's listing them as like a standard, prepaid, and a package. Um, so guest room, king size. Some of these are more flexible than others, I think, as well in terms of how easy it is to cancel, for example. Um, and they obviously offer different things in terms of what's included, how many beds there are, um, and so on. So kind of, and that all impacts the price. If I wouldn't typically go for a really kind of high end one unless it was for something special. So I would probably go for the kind of standard one that was at the cheaper end.
Uh-huh.
I might pick one that gives me more flexibility around cancellations if I was, but apart from that, I would probably choose this one that's either 444 or 433. One's a member
Uh-huh.
rate, and I'm not a member, so I guess it would be the 444 one.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, that would be how I would do it. And it's obviously then giving you a breakdown of the cost per day and then the total cost across the fortnight or whatever it is, 10 days.
Okay. And do you think you have everything you need in here?
Information wise, yeah, I think so. Um, I think I would quite sometimes I would read the cancellation policy, particularly if it's something like this. It's it's an expensive holiday, so you'd want to know what if you were poorly and you couldn't go, that sort of thing. What's your time frame if you needed to make any changes or cancel it? So you can see there it says what the cancellation policy is. So that's
Uh-huh.
some sort of thing that I'd probably read about. Um, yeah, that's about it really. I mean,
And
if I
do
was
you
booking it with a friend, I'd probably check with the friend as well, because
uh-huh.
to make sure that they were happy as well, and if they had anything that I needed to take into account when I was booking it.
Okay. So you got your location,
Mm-hmm.
you have your breakfast and your free
Yep.
cancellation included.
Yep.
Okay.
So this one says you can cancel it up for no charge up until 3 days before arrival.
Excellent.
But there is a charge after that, but it's obviously not the full amount.
Yeah. Excellent. So you have everything you need.
Yes.
Okay. So you, well, Of course, we're going to finish the task here because the following is to complete with your details. And I will finish this task of asking a few questions.
Mhm.
So overall, what did you think about this experience?
Mhm. Of the experience of the website or the application.
Yes, on the
Um,
on this app.
I think it was good actually. It's got the information that you need. Um, in terms of the map is really useful because you can see, particularly if you're trying to go to specific places, it's really useful to be able to search based on the location, especially if it's somewhere you're not familiar with. There's a range of rooms available, a range of hotels at different price points available. Gives you all the details of the kind of amenities in the hotel, what's nearby, and so on. So yeah, um, it, it it was okay actually. It's
Excellent.
easy to use. It's not difficult to use. It's fairly intuitive.
Was there anything you particularly liked or disliked about the process on this app?
Um, I don't know whether it was just me, but I found selecting the dates at the beginning was a bit clunky. But apart from that, no, it's been fine.
Hmm. Was there anything you expected to see but you did not?
Um, I don't know whether it's just me, but I got an error when I tried to look at the reviews. Um,
Hmm.
that's something that I would usually like to check reviews of something before I finish the booking, especially for something where you're paying quite a lot of money. I think that's probably the main thing.
And where will you find the reviews on this app?
Up here it says reviews, but when you click on it, it says they're not found.
Uh-huh.
Um, so at the moment, they're not showing for me.
So how will you usually check the reviews on when you?
I think what I would do if I couldn't get hold of them on here is I would go to another website. I would go to
Hmm.
somewhere like TripAdvisor or Booking.com or a third-party website, and I would effectively Google this hotel
Hmm.
in a way so that I can get other information about it to see what other people have said when they visited it, to just sense check and make sure that nobody else was raising any red flags about anything before I booked it.
Okay, excellent. And was there anything you were surprised to see?
Um, mm, no, no, I don't think so. I mean, I've never booked a hotel in New York before, so I've nothing to compare it to, but no.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, thank you so much. I'm gonna finish this recording now, and we're gonna
Mhm.
start the following task in a few seconds. Thank you so
No
much.
problem. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Gemma. So now we're going to continue with the second task.
Mhm.
Uh, I'm gonna turn my camera again off, and I'm gonna see you only. Okay. Um, for the second task, we're gonna open the app skyscottages.com, which
Mhm.
you have over there. And for the purposes of this test, we'll assume the following. You're planning a week in August next year. It's a week in the Lake District.
Okay.
Um, you're driving there.
Mhm.
You preferably will like to arrive on the second or the third week in August, your choice. But
Okay.
you're arriving on a Friday. You don't have any particular area uh, chosen on the lakes. It's
Okay.
up to you. And you're traveling with a friend and your dog. What I want you to do is to visit the website to book two rooms because this is a cottage app. So you're gonna find a cottage with 2 rooms, preferably with a parking and a rating of 4 or more. So please show me how you do that.
So let me share. So I'm not familiar with the app, so I'd usually just start off by having a bit of a browse through
That's fine.
and just sort of see. Because sometimes they have like there, it's got a search on it. So it said you could do a quick search for specific types of holidays. So when I
Hmm.
scroll through it, well, pet friendly is one of the ones that it allows me to pick.
Hmm.
So I'd probably look at something like that and then see if it'll let me filter on a part of the country. So England. So it's let me choose England, and now I'm going to see if it'll let me choose an area within. So the Lake is giving me the Lake District, North Yorkshire Peak District, and so on. So I'm going to choose the Lake District and then just choose the right sort of time of year. Maybe around there. I'll say I can be flexible about dates because that might give me a better price. Uh, mm, choosing
Remember,
4 or
excuse me. You're flexible on the weeks, but you want to arrive on a Friday.
okay,
So you could go on the second or the third week, but you're arriving on a Friday.
okay.
Yeah.
So search for what it brings up, and then typically I would just browse through them to start off with, and just look and see if any of the cottages just look appealing for any particular reason, whether it's just that the way that they look or the accommodation, or if I'm going with the pet, then it might be that because they've got an enclosed garden or something like that. So I'd probably also want to filter my search a bit more. So I might say something like that. I would probably put something like garden. If I was taking a dog, that'd be the sort of thing I would typically filter it on. Um, and then if there's one that I see that appeals to me, I'd probably just go into it and then just look through the photos and see how the accommodation looked.
Okay. For example, for this one particularly, what do you think? Describe a bit of this screen.
This one is probably a bit too big, because this one is for 6 guests, and if it's just me and a pet, then I'd probably say that's probably too big for me.
Mhm.
Um, there is a filter to button to sort it, so that you can sort by either the price or the number of people it sleeps. So I'd probably filter it, sort it, sorry, based on the number of people so that I will see the smaller places first.
Okay.
Um, and that might give me ones that are more appropriate for what I'm looking for.
Okay. Just to remind you, you're going with your dog, but also you're going with a friend.
Okay. So um just sort of scroll through really and look. Like, for example, that one I would think was too small. Willow Tree Barn Pod, so that would feel a bit too small for 2 people and a pet for a week. Um, whereas something that was, I don't know, for example, this one looks like it's got a bit more room, so I'd probably go in and have a look at that one, and see it's got a bit more space. Um,
I like to cook. So this one's not got a very big kitchen. So for me, I probably want something that's got a bit more kitchen space. So I would go back and look through a bit more. And just sort of keep scrolling through until I saw one that that appealed. So this one, maybe have a look at that one. It says it's near Coniston, so that sounds nice. It looks nice inside. Again, it's a very small kitchen, so for me, I'd probably be like, go back and look a bit more. Whoops, gone back too far. Sorry, I just filtered it too much. Just going back to sort it so that it shows me smaller properties first, and then just see. See what else it comes up with. Oh, I tend to look for ones that have some garden space or a nice view or something like that. Something that makes it feel a bit different. So that one looks nice. So, because it's got a bit of garden and you can sit outside. So I would go through. So I've been through looking at all the photos and I can see that there is outside space, that there's a view, that it's quite private. It's an enclosed garden, which is fine if you're taking a pet. There's parking. So I probably want to look a bit more about what else it says, and read the reviews. So I can see there's quite a lot of reviews on there actually. And they seem to be really positive. So I tend to look at what the other people are sort of saying that what type of holiday they went for, because, you know, you want to kind of know they're looking for the same sort of holiday because then they're kind of reviewing it in the same way. And then this bit here, it's talking about what's nearby, so that it's near Penrith, and so on. So then talking about the Eden Valley and Westmoreland and so on. So if there was anything there that particularly interested me, or if it was somewhere I'd been to loads of times and I didn't want to go there again, maybe I'd look somewhere else. That's kind of the sort of things that I would look for. So it says it's got Wi-Fi, for example. It's got a wood-burning stove. It's got a garden, parking, shower, TV. So that's probably the sort of thing. And then I'd probably scroll through to look for a few more because I like to be able to have a few and then you can kind of pick between them.
What sort of feature or a particular thing would you use to choose it among different
I
options
think
that
it
you like?
depends. It depends what holiday I'm going for, but if like it might be that it's accessible if I was going by the train, but if I was driving, I tend to be thinking more that it's somewhere that's peaceful and quiet. So I'd probably be thinking that it was somewhere where it maybe was not isolated, but a little bit more peaceful. Maybe somewhere with a bit of a view where you could sit outside in a garden, something like that.
How
Maybe
will you
not kind of,
choose? How will you choose
well,
this location, this peaceful location, in this case that you're driving there?
I tend to go off the pictures, to be honest. So if it's you know, if it's one where it's a flat in a busy building or it's right in a town centre, then I probably wouldn't be as interested in this occasion,
Hmm.
because that wouldn't seem as peaceful. So I
Yeah.
typically look for one that is a little bit more outside of the town,
Hmm.
maybe not as enclosed. Or if it's somewhere that I've been to before, or you know, and you've heard, um, then that might be like this is somewhere I've been to before, not the cottage, but the location. So that might make me go into it and have a look and see. That might kind of catch my interest a bit more, because I already know
Okay.
it's a nice part of the Lake District.
Uh-huh.
Um, so that's kind of tends to be. So that, I mean, there's two cottages in the same town, but this one is a nicer one than the one that I just looked at. So I would look at that one and think, oh, that looks really nice. It's just got really nice pictures. It's really well decorated. It looks really comfortable. Um, so I would probably pick something like that.
Uh-huh.
Um, so there's room for the two guests in the bedroom. It allows pets. Um, it says there's dishwasher, Wi-Fi. It's near pubs and shops. And then I would look at the reviews. This one says it's really good. Another one says it's really good. Property has everything you need. Village is very picturesque. Um, so then I read about it a bit more. Um, so it's spacious ground floor apartment, loads of space. It's got a nice living dining area. It's got fire, TV, coffee machine, microwave, dishwasher, loads of places to eat out nearby, music system, and it's a really central location, so it's easy to walk around, but there's loads of quiet streets nearby. Um, and it's near the beach at Grange over Sands. So those are all things that I would think, oh yeah, they would kind of make it appealing.
Hmm.
The map's really handy as well, actually, because you can see how if there are other places you want to get to, like the beach, or if you wanted to know about tourist attractions like Windermere or whatever, you can see how near it is. And obviously then it's talking about the location. So Cartmel is near Bonus on Windermere. Talks to you about Cartmel. So if it's not somewhere you've been before, when it tells you about the location, that's really handy because it's giving you a sense of what the location's like.
Hmm.
And you know then whether that's the sort of thing that appeals to you or not. So if you're somebody that wanted a big city and loads of restaurants and museums and things, then this wouldn't be the place for you.
Yeah.
So it gives you a good sense of that. Um, and um, and so on. So that would definitely be one that I would put on my shortlist or that I would book based on what I can see.
Okay. And how will you proceed if you have everything you need according to the task?
So I would, it depends. So we said it was August. So I would then go through and see if they've got any availability. So I'm just browsing through the calendar to see
Hmm.
if they've got any availability in August. And they have. So, and their dates start on a Friday. So I know it starts on the dates that on the day that I want.
Hmm.
Um, and I can choose either of the second or the third week in August. So I'd probably, if I had no personal preference, I'd probably just go whichever was cheaper.
Uh-huh.
If there was a difference, there might not be a difference. There's only like what's it, £6 difference or something.
Yeah.
Um, and then I would click to choose it if I thought the price was appropriate for what I wanted. If I thought it seemed a bit too expensive, I'd go back to the drawing board and go and look for others. or maybe compare it with something else.
Okay. And how will you proceed if you like the price?
I would go ahead and book it. I think probably at that point. If I didn't know the area, I might do a bit more research online about the area, not
Mhm.
necessarily on this app, but I might do a bit more research on my own. I might look at something like, I don't know, the National Trust website to see if there are things there that where I can use my National Trust membership, or I might Google about beaches that are nearby or restaurants or whatever. If
Uh-huh.
I wanted to know more about the area, just so that I was comfortable that it was stuff that I couldn't find necessarily from within the app, then I'd probably go and do that before I confirmed the booking.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and make sure things like I've got holiday booked from work and all those kind of administrative things. And then I'd go ahead and book it.
Perfect. And can you show me how will you book it?
Yep, so click apply. And it's quite simple actually. That's it. I think I just need to click book and that would be it.
Can you show me how you proceeded?
Sorry, yes. So I just pressed apply
Mm-hmm.
and now it's just asking me if I want to book it. I presume don't want to press that because I don't want to actually book the holiday.
Uh, so what are your thoughts in this moment,
Uh,
related with the booking?
um, I would just be really about whether that's, is the cost what I wanted to pay. I would want to I just double check that I've got my dates right and and I'm comfortable with the cost and that the location is what I want it to be before I hit confirm. Um,
Uh,
and that's
how
it.
do you confirm? How do you confirm your booking?
I would
How
just
do
press
you
book.
know? Mm-hmm.
I would just press book for, and there's a button that says book for, and then it tells me the price, £947. So I would just press that.
Okay. Can you show me how you do that?
There we go.
Okay.
Uh,
So, are you sure you have all the details you need? Did you book for you and your friend and your dog for the dates that you selected? Is everything okay with your
so
choices?
Well, it gives you a summary at the top. So it's got the name of the accommodation and then it's got the date. So Friday the 23rd of August to Friday the 30th of August. Gives me the cost. So now it's just asking me to select who's coming on my holiday. So I've put
Mhm.
2 adults. There are no children. Then it's asking about extras and dogs are included in extras. So I would put a pet on there. Um, then it's asking me about insurance. So do I want insurance? Um, and I typically probably would include something for that.
Mhm.
So, but if I was, then I would select that. Um, and then obviously it's asking if you've got a voucher code, and it's just telling you about the deposit. So
So,
you,
I'll stop you 1 second in here in the insurance.
Mhm.
What would you expect to see with this insurance? What
What it
kind of insurance?
covers. I think
Yeah.
what it covers, because everybody's going to have their own reasons for cancelling. I've got elderly parents, so when I book holiday, I'm always thinking, what if my parents are ill and I can't go away on holiday? So I
Uh-huh.
kind of want to know that if I had to cancel my holiday for that sort of reason, that I could do that.
Uh-huh.
So I think I just want to check that it's covered. Um, and so on. And obviously that the cost of the insurance isn't prohibitive.
Uh-huh.
Um, then that's kind of it, probably it for me. Uh, as long as the cost of it isn't too much, just for peace of
Uh-huh.
mind, I would probably, historically, it's not something I would have done because
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't have worried about it, but I do worry about it more now. So I would probably take it out.
And can you explain a little bit how this insurance works?
Well, I would be looking to if I had to cancel my holiday for some reason that's outside of my control, so it's not just because I didn't want to go on holiday, I would not want to lose the full value that I've paid for my holiday. So I
Uh-huh.
might not expect to get the full amount back, but I would want to get some money back so
Uh-huh.
that I wasn't completely out of pocket because I'd had to cancel my holiday.
Uh-huh. Do you feel that this insurance provides that for you?
Um, it seems to, because it says it covers cancellation. Um, and that's the bit that I'm in. When it says what's covered, it lists accidental damage, cancellation, and an accident. And the one I'm most interested in is cancellation.
Uh-huh.
Um, so that's probably the one that I would go with.
Okay. And if you're happy with this, how will you confirm your booking? How will you proceed?
So just got to put in my date of birth. And confirm that I'm a resident. I don't have a voucher code, so if I had a voucher code, I could get some discount. Um, choose a deposit. So whether you want to pay like a really small deposit, the full amount, or a medium one. I would probably try and pay something like a medium one so that I'm sort of spreading out the cost.
Mm-hmm.
Then obviously there's a checkbox to allow you um to just let them take the rest of the money out. And then you can continue then to put in your personal details so that you can actually complete the booking.
Yeah. Excellent.
There is also a
Perfect.
phone number to ring if you're having a problem.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Excellent. We're gonna stop the task right now
Okay.
with in here, and I'm gonna ask you extra questions to conclude this task.
Okay.
Overall, what do you think of this experience on this app?
Um, it's easy to use. It's quite intuitive. I like that there's lots of photographs. I like that there's a map. The reviews are easy to see and read. Obviously we didn't complete the payment, but the payment part looked quite straightforward. Um, yeah, there was all the information was there in one place, really. And there's lots of choice. Whether that's kind of locations, types of places, price points, size of buildings, and so on. So yeah, it was easy to use.
Excellent. And was there anything you particularly liked or disliked about the process on this app?
Uh, no, I don't think so. I like that there's lots of photographs because that's really all you've got to go off when you're trying to book something. So I think that's good. The more photographs, the better in some ways. Um, yeah, no, I think that's about it really.
Excellent. And was there anything you expected to see but you did not?
Uh, no, I don't think so. There were reviews, photos, maps, details of all the amenities and the location. The I think sometimes some of the stuff you could filter on was maybe you could maybe have been more specific. Like it was just in garden, whereas often you see things like enclosed garden, and if you're taking a dog, that can be quite
Uh-huh.
or got young children, you want to know it's an enclosed garden rather than just a garden.
Uh-huh.
I think maybe some of the stuff you could filter it on could have been a bit more specific, to
Perfect.
help you kind of narrow down your choice because there's such a lot of choice on there. You need something to help you be able to narrow it down from like 500 options down to something a bit more workable.
Yeah,
So
that's a good.
I think the stuff that you can filter on is really a big part of that.
Yeah. And was there anything you were surprised to see?
Um, I didn't remember having to put my age in order for the travel insurance, but that's a minor thing. No, other than that, I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
It's fairly standard.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for your insights. That's been really, really helpful. And this is the end of our task.
Okay.
So thank you so much for helping.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.